Hey, my name's not important, but do you know what is? Yes, that's right, Asian immigration. Being hidden under the media on Latino immigration, you will finally witness as two Asian Americans developed a rift in Asian immigration history.
So, the earliest, memory of, my ancestors or my family that first immigrated over here to the U.S. was in the early 1990s on my dad's side of the family. Basically, his brothers and sisters and my grandma came over here, and they settled into Santa Ana.
I've never really asked why they came over, but it's probably the same reason my parents did. Just for like opportunities for jobs, and better income, and better education.
I only faced challenges as an Asian American in my early years when I came over. So literally, basically, language. So I came over here when I was in first grade. I would only know how to say the word bathroom to ask my teacher where it is. Honestly, all my life I've had an identity crisis because at moments I'd feel very American, going through the usual holidays and different procedures going through school and such, but there's been other days where, I just remember the lifestyle back in Vietnam and I really miss that and I'd rather go back to that on some days. So. Yeah, there's my parents, they're very different from me, of course, they still have to, work day in and day out while, my main job right now or my main duty for them is, to go to school and to graduate and such and, progress through life and get a good job, degree and all that stuff. They still haven't really learned the English language, but, they're getting by, they know how to navigate around, the city and such, and, they know some financial, things. So, yeah, we're very different, but when we get home, we're all the same. We're all the same family, we eat the same food. I don't think all Asian immigrants and their experiences are the same. If I did, then, I would be making the same mistake as, all the other, dominant races or ethnicities, trying to clump Asians together.
So my ancestors first came here in the early 1900s for better work opportunities, and they pretty much came from being like the lowest paid rice farmers to being the bosses of their own businesses. I don't think I faced really any challenges being Asian American, and I grew up in a small town that was predominantly white, and I still didn't feel like I was ever bullied or discriminated against for being Asian. So what makes my parents different from me is that they grew up in the 60s and 70s, so around the time where there was a lot of racial discrimination that made them want to be seen as less Japanese and more American. So for instance, my mom, she would get mad at my grandma if she ever packed her lunches that had Japanese food in them because she didn't want to be judged by the other kids. So I do think racial discrimination does go with immigration because I feel like when people immigrated here, they may not have felt fully accepted by Americans, which is why it led them to create small communities like Chinatown and Little Saigon, where they could feel like they belonged.
According to Erica Lee's book, The Making of Asian America, Southeast Asians came in three particular waves. The first two being mainly due to war and the spread of communism, as many in the second wave crossed by boat. Unlike refugees during the second wave, Tu is an immigrant who left during the third wave by plane with his family. At first arrival in the US, many like Tu and Melanie's ancestors had trouble assimilating to the new norm when they had been accustomed to their own vernacular. Similarly to all Asians in the past, they had a hard time assimilating. Even though it was tough, the host country being so dominant, many would assimilate and Americanize, taking in a new set of value, culture, and traditions to fit into the current society. What was once so foreign is now common, and their old ways eventually become forgotten. Today, many Japanese and Vietnamese immigrate for economic reasons instead of political and social. looking for higher class jobs instead of low class jobs. They also focus on education to gain a degree where they could work either in the US or their home country. Many decide to stay in their home country because they are economically stable and modernizing. Differences can be seen throughout the different generations. Problems in their daily lives differ from generation to generation. Once assimilated, relations of their true ethnicity begins to vanish through the generations losing ties to their family background. Values, culture, language, and traditions of their ethnicity become foreign. You can appear physically Asian, but you are American at heart and mind. Racial discrimination does go hand in hand with immigration, but in today's current society, it's masked by the media on Latino immigration. People are still being discriminated based on accusations instead of factual evidence. Today, similar to the Page Law, Cambodians are being deported for having any criminal acts. As of today, Asians are not discriminated against in ways like the Yellow Peril and other anti-Asian sentiments in the early 1900s, but are still being discriminated in less aggressive forms. In the past, many immigrated for refuge to the US, but now, most immigration is by choice. Contemporary time begins to slowly erase issues of the past and develop a new set of problems. The generations to come will create a better path for future Asian immigrants, but as long as we still have racial discrimination, our society will never fully change. So, this is farewell to you, signing off, No Name.